What's up guys, Piotr here, Actionair Central, and this is the second video of the workshop series. I figured since I'm already laying out all the tools and stuff, I might as well show you another thing that is pretty common and that you should be taking care of. In this one, I'm going to show you my process of how I do it, how I loop the parts, which ones to actually take care of. And yeah, I hope you'll be able to just do the same thing and make your guns run smooth and snappy. Alright guys, so basic maintenance of your pistol. What I'm going to focus on right now is just how to lubricate your gun, because you definitely want all these parts to move smoothly and fluidly. So two things that I at least try to keep in mind. Oh, there you go, check it out. See this thing here? This is a two-piece guide rod that was Loctited, but it got separated. Okay, so we're gonna have to fix that. Oh, good thing that I looked inside. Anyway, I use two types of ointments to do this. I use silicone oil for plastic parts, and I use this gun grease by Abbey for parts that are metal on metal. This is something that I saw some YouTube video way back of a guy saying that this was pretty good, and it is good. It sticks for a long time, so it's you apply it once and then you don't have to worry about it for a long time, whereas the silicone oil likes to dry up, and you should reapply silicone oil pretty much after each game or each practice, because parts like your nozzle will dry off. Like this one is dry now. So I'm just going to show you quickly how I do it, which parts exactly you want to lubricate. Since this part moves, you really want it to be moving smoothly, so you don't get it to stick, for example. So you want to definitely lubricate this whole area. Just make sure you don't really lubricate the very tip, since this is the part that goes into your hop-up, and you don't want your hop-up to be lubricated, or else it will not have friction and will not actually hop your BB. So pretty much I like to do like 3/4 up, and then depending on if you have a plastic or a metal slide, you definitely want the rails to be lubricated and all the parts that touch each other. So in this case, this rail part right here, together with the parts that are actually touching, you want these puppies to be lubricated. So that is where I would use my gun grease. However, like I said, if you have metal frame and then your plastic slide, you would probably want to use the silicone. Some other things that you might consider is putting some gun grease, for example, on this part, since this is the spring that is moving constantly on, in my case, a steel guide rod. This is also a part that I would apply the grease to, and then the rest is basically up to you, but I don't really see a reason to lubricate it too much, or you're just gonna have this stuff spilling out, so no really point there. These are the two most important things, I would say. So the nozzle and the rails and your slide. I'm gonna put some Loctite into this screw and tie it together. That's the danger of having a two-part guide rod. If you don't Loctite this, it's gonna come apart very easily. And this was just like 1 or 2 practice sessions worth of shooting that this guy got separated. And I did put some Loctite in it previously, so this is weird. Loctite, by the way, I used the 243. So now let's get into lubing it up. So what I like to do is just basically pull down on this and just apply a little bit of it. See, like I'm going to 3/4 here, and I'm just kind of smearing it with my fingers. Put some on the blowback housing as well, since that part will also move against the rails up there. So you want to have that nice and smooth. Okay, I'm gonna show you how I apply my gun grease now. You only need very small amounts of it. See, I got like it's almost full. I just take my paintbrush and then just put some here. Now even this is a bit too much. You really want just a tiny bit. It's very efficient. I then use like a paper towel to just smear the excess off. It's kind of like with painting. And then what I do is just I just put some over here on the spring. You can rotate it a bit. See, this is metal on metal parts, so this is totally fine. So I just apply it liberally over here, just to give it a bit of a greasing. And now I'm not even going to take more. I'm just going to go over the rails a bit, kind of like you would want to paint over it, just a little bit. You don't really need much. Like I said, it's very efficient and it's going to stay on here for quite a long time. So you just want to go on the metal parts, the ones that will be touching metal. So like this, it's gonna give it a nice smoother action. So okay, and we're gonna wipe the excess from the sides, and we're gonna wipe the excess from the sides later on. So this is like the upper part, and then you want to go to your rail and you want to do the same thing over here. So just, you know, maybe take a little bit more. You can always wipe the excess if you got too much. I just put it here. Just paint it on like so. If you're unsure which parts are touching which, you're most likely going to have some kind of marks on them where the metal touches on metal. So it will give you an idea, but I mean, it's pretty straightforward where you want this stuff to be on. That's it. That's really it. Now we're just going to put it back together and wipe the excess off. Oh, I can already feel it. The smoothness of it. Yep, it's nice. I just use like an old sock. Just get in there, get that grease out of the parts that you went over too much. It's gonna get into these grooves on your slide for sure, but that's fine. It goes away really easily. No marks really. And that's it. That's pretty much your basic maintenance. Obviously, if you're like an airsoft player and you play in the field, you get some sand in here or something, then you really want to take it apart, take your gun apart after every game and just do a full sweep with like, you know, with cotton and stuff, take all the sand out from all the parts. But if you're an action air guy like me, your pistol will not like see the dirt too much, so it's fine to just grease it up every now and then and you'll be good to go. Okay, so that's the basics of maintenance. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.